Hi, welcome to Coffee and Chill with Adele Overby. Today we'll be talking to Kevin Cavanna about his short spoken word film, Hands Up. We're going to play the film for you guys first, and then afterwards we get to talk to Kevin Cavanna himself.
Can we identify the script, please?
Male black, 23 years old, 6 foot, gray hoodie, blue jeans.
I was told the rule was simple. Just don't get shot. So I found myself running laps around the block, my feet hitting the street as if the concrete were hot on those summer days when we used to play cops and robbers. Elementary school, young and only slightly larger than a toddler, I was already familiar with how a shootout goes. My gun, composed of an index, middle finger, and thumb, when shots fired, bang, bang, everybody would run, blurring our comprehension between danger and innocent fun. We would take cover behind brick walls and trees, convinced ourselves that we could skip, crawl, and breeze past these make-believe bullets we could weave with such ease, shouting, "Stick 'em up" or "Freeze." And I always tried to be on the side of the police, the dignified, unquestioned, perpetually justified bringers of peace, allowed to apply the judgment of God that is denied to even a priest, with the ability to identify the good guys and then decide how to divide them away from the beast. Such honor, such power, such glory, we believed it almost obligatory that they'd be so strong. And our child's play taught us that cops could never do wrong, and blindly, we accepted this notion without any hesitation, as if the badge were an affirmation of divinity, an indication of validity for those that are preferred. How foolish, how absolutely foolish we were. The air smells thick of gunpowder. The unmistakable sick scent of corrupt power mixed with the aroma of flowers and the sour taste of tears, because the ones that we empowered are the ones that we now fear. And I am here, inside of another funeral home, wondering if it could all have been avoided had we only known that you are not the heroes you made yourselves out to be. I step out and see the flashing lights in the air, casting bright glares of red and blue flares in the distance, and in an instant, I am made aware that I too can get caught in the crosshairs. And I am so scared, terrified, forced to watch you terrorize the very lives of those who need you most, yet you proceed to boast that you are here to serve and protect, but only to those who deserve your respect. And we bear witness as you turn and neglect us, because clearly you believe we're undeserving. In the mirror, I'm observing the image I reflect, trying hard to dissect what it is that makes me a suspect for nearly every single crime. Unable to reject the parts of me that you connect to the vague profile given nearly every single time. There is no way for me to look more innocent, no matter how hard I try. And I won't deny that we still bear the scars of self-inflicted pain. Countless slain by their own brothers like Abel and Cain, unable to explain why the blood that stains our hands is that of our own veins. But then you came. You vowed that somehow the violence would be contained, and yet it still remains, just on a very different level. You replaced our burning flames with burning hot metals from the barrels of police-issued pistols. The smoke will not settle, and I can't breathe. He is already handcuffed and on his knees, yet you continue to beat him mercilessly. And she is a grandmother of 3, being tased before her grandbaby's eyes, and you don't cease despite their cries. And she, a little girl who didn't need to get pulverized by a man who was 3 times her weight and 5 times her size. And he, unarmed, yet you were under the pretension that he had the intention to harm, So you put 2 bullets in his back when he chose to run because society conditioned him to believe that it's a crime to be black. Was his belief fact? Can you answer that question? You are here for your own protection. Veiled behind 2-way mirrors, too afraid to see your own reflection, but take a good, hard look. Another cop turned crook. Another walking contradiction. Another coward who couldn't stand by their own fucking convictions and became yet another contributor to our burden and affliction. Is there a prescription that can remedy this disease? Officer, please tell me. When did the rules change? When did we become your target practice and these streets your firing range? Every corner serves as a reminder that this is no longer a game and that my life has become something you can effortlessly claim. I am not safe here. So in the days that follow, I'll live on time that feels borrowed. Make promises that feel empty and hollow like, Mom, I'll see you tomorrow, when I just don't know if that's true. So I hug a little tighter. Say I love you a little louder. Make sure my friends and family know it whenever we part ways, because when I pray, it feels like the only thing I can do for our safety. But I don't think God can hear me over the sirens. Through the sounds of mourning mothers crying, it's hard to feel safe here when I've seen the bodies of children get traced here. Outlines of chalk that are erased here by raindrops, but the pain is something that we never forgot. Just don't get shot. Well, it's easier said than done. It seems like we get killed just for fun, whether we fight, comply, or try to run. You pull out your gun and bang, bang. One more RIP spray painted for another victim of your hatred. What have we done to you? Are you proud of what you have become? When your finger is on the trigger, do your hands ever go numb? Do you ever succumb to feelings of regret for any of your choices? Wishing you could forget the sounds of their voices? Are you haunted by their faces? Taunted by the places where you abandoned your humanity, where you gave up the remaining traces of your sanity for that badge on your breast? Does it feel like a weight on your chest? Can you breathe? Can someone go and find the ones who would extend helping hands without brandishing guns? Who recognize that our lives have value too? We are looking for you. For the brave few who can acknowledge when a wrong has been committed, who will speak out when their colleagues are acquitted of crimes greater than the ones that land us a death sentence. Are any of you seeking repentance? We need you now, please. Those who understand that the badge does not pardon your atrocities, that it doesn't excuse your animosity, nor does it provide you an extension on the law and policies and allow you to break it. It symbolizes that you vowed to preserve life and not take it. I know you exist. I know you can't all be the same, even though you probably see us that way. I always wonder how they'll try to paint me. Will the 6 o'clock news make me appear saintly, or will they demonize my image by saying I was aggressive rather than timid? Pull up the picture of me at 16 wearing baggy jeans instead of the picture of me holding my degree. Which me will the world see? What lies will they make true when truth be told? I wanted to be just like you. I believed I could be dignified and catch the bad guys, be a hero and save the day just like you. But you lost your way. You gave away your responsibility for invincibility, relinquished your humility for the ability to do as you please. I'm begging you, please, don't let this be how we die. Don't become the reason why we cry. Don't participate in this goddamn genocide. I put my hands up high to show you that you don't have to fear me. I put my hands up toward the sky and pray that God hears me and that you hear him, and remember that man's law is never absolute, that the promise of power is an empty pursuit. And whatever you decide to do amidst this dispute, please, just don't shoot.
Central, is he on foot or does he have a car? On foot, on foot.
Up. Today we are here with Kevin Cavanna, the writer and producer. So Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm good. So let's just get right on into it, huh? Okay.
Do it.
So what inspired Hands Up?
So there was a number of things that inspired the piece itself. One being just personal experiences and observed experiences as well. Just witnessing family and friends and their trials and tribulations with law enforcement. And also just how the media has covered and portrayed these situations that happen on almost a daily basis. And it's been a piece that was in the works for several years, and I was just constantly editing it, and I went through several iterations before it became something that I felt comfortable and satisfied sharing. And even to this day, I feel like I can still say more. But it's already a 10-minute piece, so
yeah, it's a lot. It's worth
lengthy.
it though.
Thank you.
The message is there.
Thank you. But it's a conversation that I feel can continuously be had, and there's so much to say about it.
Would you say that the humanity portrayed in your project is what you wanted to inspire in others?
Like the feeling of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to inspire several things. I wanted to inspire feeling. I wanted it to be thought. I wanted it to be the emotional aspect of it. I wanted to inspire discourse and conversation. I wanted to inspire, agreement and disagreement. I wanted to hear different perspectives, and I wanted this to kind of be a catalyst for these conversations, for the action. That I also want to inspire action, and just kind of touch base with everyone and make it something personal that whether you've been through it personally or you know someone who's been through it touches base with you and it's home. And so definitely there was definitely a lot of pain behind it. It came from a place of turmoil, unfortunately, and a place of loss and of sadness, and all of those things came in to create this piece, amalgamation of this piece.
Yeah. I don't have to say, one of my favorite things about your piece is that you have the contrast of the discussion that's going on. It's like I feel like a lot of these artists come out and a lot of the projects are coming out and it's always one side or the other. It's like we need to have guns are good, or the police are really bad people, like they don't do anything for us, they don't actually care for us. It's like you have to remember that the police are people, and then the people who are being shot are also people. There has to be like a middle ground. I think you really talk about that in your piece, about your different perspectives of how things are going down.
I tried to get that in the piece because, again, speaking from a personal standpoint, I've had friends and family and associates, wonderful people, who have been abused by this system that has been allegedly made to protect us. And
Allegedly.
And it's been difficult to see them struggle to get back on their feet. For a lot of us, once you're in the system, you're in the system permanently, and it's hard to go to school, get your life together, get a job. But then I've also had family, friends, and associates who are part of law enforcement, and they're doing their damnedest to not be that stereotypical, horrible, rough around the edges cop. They're dedicated, they're hardworking, they're caring, they're kind, and they put their lives on the line because it is a dangerous job at times. And they put their lives on the line every time they put that uniform on, and they know this, and they're equally as disgusted and equally as upset when someone gets hurt, when someone loses their life. in ways that could have been prevented. So I wanted to make sure when I was writing this that I was covering that spectrum, because I feel like I was trying to take a neutral stance. I was trying to speak to everyone involved, and it's all of us.
So how do you think that your piece affects what's, like recently there was just a Florida shooting at that school at Parkland. So how do you think your piece kind of translates over to what's going on in the world right now?
So, in regards to mass shootings, it puts that whole idea into perspective about when is it appropriate to, take action, physical action, whether it be, attacking a perpetrator or resulting to, having to put someone down. And I think situations like that kind of give you that understanding that police officers are put in very high pressure situations where their lives aren't easy.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
might feel depression. They might even be worried, like, I'm going to put this uniform on and I might not come home today. So situations like mass shootings and just any type of kind of just, high pressure situation of violence and anger kind of puts it in perspective that sometimes cops do have to do these things, and it also gives us something to contrast when cops do it the wrong way. It's like, this kid running away from you was nowhere near on the same level of aggression as this guy who was shooting up a public park.
Of children.
So it's like,
Who can't run.
why did you shoot both of them? It's kind of like, I understand why you shot this guy, but why did you shoot that child, that kid? So it kind of gives you a basis as to where to compare and contrast these situations, and just kind of get a bigger understanding of when it's appropriate and when it's completely not appropriate to do things like that.
I often hear, like when I'm watching the news or something, that the argument that a lot of police have for shooting Eric Gardner or any of the many names that could be said right now is that they were afraid, or they felt like they were in a place where they could have been hurt.
Yeah, and that's that again, and I believe, I don't know if it's all over the nation, but I know in New York specifically, it is said that a police officer can withdraw his firearm and use it if at any point they feel intimidated or they feel like their life is in danger. And that's a very vague statement.
Yeah.
I'm a small guy. If I was a cop and this large man was coming toward me, I could feel intimidated. But does that mean that I have the right to pull out my firearm and shoot him and put him down? So it's strange. It's a very strange thing, and I feel like there needs to be more of a, I don't want to say training, but more of a procedure in approaching these situations, and just kind of make sure that the police officers know that there's a number of things that they can do before they shoot to kill. There's several different ways to incapacitate someone who they feel is being overly aggressive or putting them in danger. And I feel like there just needs to be more of a procedure that's plain to paper that they can honestly just grasp their heads around and really just implement it better.
So what do you think, like, a correlation between gun control laws and the police would be? Should it be like, should they also, because like in Canada, maybe not Canada, but there's in other countries, like police don't have AR-15s or any of that like intense like gun power. A lot of them just have like tasers and like batons.
Right.
So you think that if like we started gun control with the police, it would affect the country?
With the police, I could see it affecting the country, definitely. In both negative and positive ways, there wouldn't be as many situations as we're seeing currently about police officers, shooting and killing people, obviously. But there would also be more of a danger that if situations like a mass shooting is happening, are these officers equipped to deal with that situation? A taser at that moment if someone has an AR-15 isn't going to help.
But it's like a balance, I feel like. I feel like if the police are responding to like drug dealers and like people in the city who have guns, so it's like if the police have get bigger guns than the people on the street, then they're just getting bigger guns. So it's like a constant like cycle of, well, they have bigger guns, so we need bigger guns, and they have bigger guns, so we need bigger guns. But if one didn't have guns, it could either be like a really ridiculous revolution, or or we could just like X the need for guns in the first place. Because what do we, besides like hunting, what do we really need guns for? And most of our like food, most of our food and stuff is like grown already for us in like pens. So what do we?
I mean, I'm not against. My whole thing is I'm not against police officers having guns. Like, and this piece was in no way meant to like demonize or slander the police force. I think it's just learning the proper use of these guns and, again, when to use them, when it's appropriate to really withdraw your weapon. That should be the like last case, worst case scenario. Okay, now I have to withdraw my gun. And again, it just comes down really to who we're allowing to don this uniform, who we're trusting with this responsibility, with this, they have to be mature, they have to be organized, they have to be level-headed, they have to be able to deal with pressure well. And I think that's where police training does play a major key. Because again, I'm speaking for myself, like, I know if I was put in a situation like that, I'd probably reach for my gun right away. But
or run.
Or run. But if I'm trained, I should be trained adequately enough to deal with this situation to a point where I'm not endangering people around me and I know how to react properly and just match the level of aggression that's being given to me. And I feel like something's going wrong in the system where we have police officers who are just resorting to immediately using their guns for situations that didn't even require it. So there needs to be something that, again, I keep saying a procedure, but I don't even know if that's the right word I'm looking for.
How would you want this film to inspire the change you're talking about?
So the film itself, as an entity, can't do anything. It can only directly inspire individuals who have had enough, who want to collectively make this change, who want to demand justice for all of us. And I'm hoping that this film can be a catalyst for that, can inspire those to take action and to actually make moves and demand more from law enforcement. And it's something that's going to take a long time. It's something that's going to be very challenging, very difficult. But I think it's tangible. I think we can collectively work on this and make this work better.
What would this be?
Just the way that law enforcement treats people, just civilians, and just how we look at each other and how we see each other and how we approach each other as people, whether or not we have that uniform on, and just how we value each other's lives.
Thank you so much, Kevin Cavanna, for coming and joining us on Coffee and Chill today.
Thank you for having me.
We really appreciate it.
Anytime.
If you want to catch Kevin on his Instagram or his YouTube, he's going to give you all the links for that.
So my YouTube is Kevin Cavanna, or you can click the link below in the description of this video. My Instagram is brew_from_concrete, like that Tupac poem. There you go.
Are there any other pieces you got
So
in the works?
pieces coming on the way. If you follow me on Instagram and on YouTube, tune in and find out.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Coffee and Chill. It's been a blast. I was your host, Adele Overby, and see you next time.